Hey Aaron.
How you doing? Is it Keith?
Yes, it's me, Keith here.
Cool. Let me make sure I got my right microphones and stuff hooked in. Great.
So, Aaron, how's your day so far?
Man, it's going great and ending awesome. How about yours, Keith?
Oh, mine is wonderful, Aaron. Thank you so much for asking. So, Aaron, your fourth full-length album, Loriella, is to be out on June 28th. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the songwriting and the production that goes behind this new album?
Yeah, it's our fourth full length. We've been doing EPs for the last decade, and so it felt time to bite the bullet and do a full length again. And so we started working on it in early 2020 and planned on having it out late 21.
Mm.
And then COVID, and then I had a baby, and then one of our other members had some health issues, and production dragged on. But we just we knew it was special, and we know we've been around long enough to know nothing's ever perfect, but we know when it's right. And it wasn't right. And we had signed a new record deal with Tooth and Nail, and they were super supportive. They trusted us because we've been around. They said, just let us know when it's done. So it's taken the longest we've ever taken. And also, this is the first one that we sort of self-produced. So we've done most of our records with Matt Goldman. He's done a lot of rad records over the years. He was still involved in some of the tracking, but one of our other members, Nate, he produced this record, and so it just gave us the ability to, like, every record you feel like it's really good, but there's things that weren't quite what we wanted them to be, and we just needed more time, like,
Yeah.
to cook, as the kids say. So we let ourselves cook, and we fought for every song to be what we wanted it to be. And so it's been a long journey, but we're like super excited it's done, and it's the most proud, it's the hardest we've ever worked. I don't know what people will think about it. Hopefully they feel like it's our best work, but we feel fulfilled to a level we maybe have never even felt before.
Fantastic, fantastic. And was there any particular concept or a theme that goes behind this new album?
We've done our last two records were a concept record, Ultraviolet and Violence, were two EPs, and we sort of have a really big dynamic range as a band. Like, we have like super heavy drop baritone stuff, and then we have like much prettier kind of like poppier singy stuff. And we split those apart for those EPs and did Violence was the heavy one, and Ultraviolet was like more ambient and spacey. And I think this time around it was like, let's not have a theme, let's let it emerge, and let's let the whole arc of our sound. So there is super heavy drop guitars on some of the songs, and then there's like acoustic, spacey, beautiful stuff. And there's some songs where both happen, and that's kind of like our sound. And so the theme that emerged, I think, was fighting nihilism and staying hopeful. We're old enough to have lost our innocence, but what does it look like to still be people who have hope, who are not defeated, who keep pushing forward, who have faith in something? And so this record became kind of like an empowered, like, after two records about pain and struggle, this record became much more about being empowered and finding like a more mature hopefulness.
Gotcha, gotcha. And speaking on the album, 10 amazing songs, totally rocking, the great melodies as you guys always do, and
Thank
fantastic
you.
song, each and every song, beautifully done, and great work from you guys again.
Thank you.
And as a band, how do you guys feel about the outcome of this new album?
Yeah, I mean, we feel like, I heard another great artist, and we want to be artists. I mean, the three of us that are kind of comprise the band, like, really see it more as like three artists that work together. Um, he said that when you put out work and you've really gotten it right, you'll know, because you don't have to give caveats. You don't have to say, before you listen, let me tell you this, this, and this. We only had this much money. We only had this much time, or you need to give them like context. And in the past, I always felt like when I was getting these interviews that I had to add a lot, because I always felt like, it was really good. There's a lot of our discography that I'm super pleased with, but there was always something I needed to explain. And this is the first record where I don't feel like I need to add anything. Like it's there, and people can like it or not like it. That's up to their taste. That's up to the context. You know, being in the right mood on the day they hear the song might have something to do with it too. But I feel like we put a piece of artwork out there. And the other best way I can say it, Keith, is again, not about perfection and not comparing myself to anybody else, but I feel like we were always a band. Like if you're a runner and you know you can run a sub 4 minute mile, but everything has to break right. Like you have to, your training has to be right. You have to be healthy. You got to have new shoes. The weather's got to be right. And you've just never done it. You've always known you could get under 4 minutes, but you never have. And this record feels like we broke our 4 minute mile. Like it's not perfect. We're ready to make more music already, but everything is what we wanted it to be. And it's super fulfilling. And we hope that it's a bunch of songs that like lead people empowered and encouraged and would make in a lot of ways that they'd feel like this song is about them, and it would feel like, you know, it would meet them where they're at and let them not feel alone, for sure.
Fantastic. And a few weeks back, you released the video for North Star. Would you like to tell me the making of this video and about this song in particular?
Yeah, sure, Keith. North Star was one of the last songs we finished, but it's the longest song. It took us like 3 years to figure out what it was. But as it was finishing, we knew, oh, this can be the first single, because it's sort of like, in some ways, it's a classic My Epic song. It has big choruses and an even bigger ending, and it's riffy and it rocks. And we wanted to come out the gate swinging, but it sounds like classic My Epic, but like it's the most futuristic production we've ever done. And so we were stoked to put that out first. And then we shot it with a bunch of friends. And I live in Louisville, Kentucky on the West End, which is a little bit like the Wild West. My neighborhood's awesome, but we knew if we filmed it here, we could kind of do whatever we want without permits and nobody would say anything. And all of our neighbors kind of pitched in, and it was just a super fun project. And we took over a tunnel and a park and just blocked it off and shot in it for 4 hours one night. Nobody said anything to us. We're like running these bright lights, and it was just really fun. And our friends, my friend Matt and his company, they shot it, they produced it with us. And it was just like for 3 days, we just shot all kinds of trippy, wild, fun stuff and experimented and just tried to match, like the song has a real frenetic, energetic sense. And then in the end, it's like super, it almost sounds like the sun is rising or something. And so it was super fun to shoot, and something we hadn't done before. And it seems like it did exactly what we wanted to. Like it said to people like, hey, we're back. We know we were quiet for a while, but we've been working the whole time, I promise.
Fantastic. And any plans to come up with more videos from this new album?
Yeah, on Friday, we just put out our second single, and that's called Heavy Heart. That's a song we're super pumped about. If people haven't heard Heavy Heart yet, we'll hope they'll go check it. It's the last song on the album, so you've heard it. But and that was one we shot on my street with all my neighbors. Whereas the other video is like really trippy and psychedelic, like this one's much more kind of from the heart. And a lot of my neighbors are in it. And I sort of just, because we spent so much time shooting North Star, we sort of just said, we're just going to throw a block party. And we have a lot of weird, fun, eccentric neighbors. Let's just invite them all to do their stuff, and we'll just film that night. And that's what we did. And it literally, like the way the video looks and the way the song feels is the way the night was. Like everybody was just enjoying each other, being each other. And we ended with fireworks in this park, and it was great. And it's just a song about like the power of like truly loving someone unconditionally, and really like seeing someone, like, you know, sometimes you just feel alone. And when someone can say something really small, but if they say something, Keith, that tells you, oh, they see me, that can just make you feel so loved. And that's kind of the point of the song, is you don't even know how many people are paying attention and really see you for who you are. And maybe we can all just take a chance, like today, tomorrow, just to tell one more person, like, hey, I see you, I notice you, I see you. So that's out. And then we've got two more singles that are coming out. One's called Make Believe and one's called Late Bloomer, and they both have videos too. So we'll have another video on June 7th, and then the final video will come out with the record on June 28th. So 4 videos.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
And then Keith, wait, there's more. We're doing an in-studio performance in June that'll probably be coming out in July and August of 5 of the new songs of us performing them live. And so that'll be on YouTube for everybody.
Beautiful, beautiful, Aaron. And Aaron, like you said, on June 28th, you are releasing a video to go along with the release. But do you have more plans for the release day?
For the release day, we're playing shows the next weekend. So the next weekend, we're playing a festival called Audio Feed. We've got a couple other shows in the works, and we just announced we're playing a big festival called Furnace Fest in Alabama in October. So we're starting to plan shows, and we've got some tours hopefully in the works. And yeah, the studio footage is coming out, and the music videos, and there's a bunch of other stuff I can't even talk about yet. New merch. So yeah, we're definitely like we were quiet for really 3.5 years. We don't plan on that happening again. We've got a lot in the works, and well, Tooth and Nail has been an incredible new partner for us as a label, and between them and our manager and our whole team, like yeah, we've got a lot of stuff in the works we're excited about.
Fantastic. And any big international touring plans for this year?
Oh man, I'd love to. Where do we need to go, Keith? Where should we go?
All around the world.
We'd like to. It just depends on the opportunities. We've flirted with Europe a bunch and Latin America a little bit, and it just hasn't come together. And so, yeah, we'd love to. We honestly, Keith, I like to go everywhere, and I've never been anywhere I couldn't find something to like about. So hopefully, as we get the touring engine up, and as other booking agents and stuff start seeing we're serious again, we'll get some of those opportunities and get to go to some of those places. We'd love to come wherever you're listening to this at. We'd like to come to you. It's just a matter of logistics.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Aaron, I know the band has a long history that goes way back to 2005, and now with 4 studio albums, 4 EPs. So, how was this journey with My Epic has been for you so far?
Oh man, that's a great question, Keith. Thank you. Man, it still feels like we're just getting started, and I know people say that all the time, but like I feel like through the years we've added and changed band members, but everybody's been friends along the way. Like my brother was our drummer, and he doesn't really play live with us anymore, but he's still involved when he can. And my best friend Jeremiah was in the band for 15 years. He still lives around the corner, and like I was throwing a frisbee with him yesterday, and he's designing merch for us. So it feels like a family. This new record deal and this new album cycle has really allowed us to take another step forward. When kind of a few years ago it felt like are we have we done everything we can, and it sort of was becoming obvious that like to us that our songwriting was getting better, and that we were feeling more and more like we're the band we want to be. In the past it was like, who are we? You're trying to figure it out. And so it's been a journey, but it feels like we're just getting started. And Nate and Tanner and I have like really found a flow of writing together. And yeah, honestly, I'm in a season, Keith, where it all feels new again. New label, new management. I mean, everyone from the past is still our friends, but we just have a whole new team of people. So it's just really exciting, and to see the response so far to North Star and Heavy Heart has me super hopeful that people they'll just engage the art for its value and decide if they like it or not. And it won't matter that we've been a band for so long. Like it's a good song is a good song.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know there has been a lot of great, wonderful moments over the years, but is there something special that is always on your mind that you want to share with me today?
I think one thing that we've always decided, Keith, and we continue to decide, is that like the people in the band are more important than the band. Like my relationship with Tanner and Nate and Jesse and Jeremiah and the other guys over the years, like we've made a lot of decisions over the years that maybe haven't been the best business decision, but it's been to care for each other. Like the best thing about being in a band is being in a band, right? Like getting to be in something with Nate and Tanner and whoever else is in the fold at the time. And it comes and goes based on people's abilities. Sometimes like, well, I want to still do it, but I can't do it right now because of this thing in my life. Okay, that's cool, man. We got you. Like and I think the fact that we still have friendships with like everybody we've ever toured with and played with feels like a big family. And when we put something new out, like guys who like, one of our guys who played drums with us 11 years ago, and I almost never see him, but we're friends still. He just lives far away. He's texting me, "I'm proud of you. I love you." It's just such a great heart connection to have been like, we, at the end of the day, a band is just a collection of people. So how do you care for each other? So there's so many moments I think of, Keith, but if I'm trying to sum them up, it's the friendship. It's that's the best gift. It's like I have friends that have gone on like amazing trips that they plan, like I'm gonna go to Alaska or Europe or wherever you've wanted to go your whole life, or Japan. And when they go alone, they always come back and there's this bittersweetness of like, I mean, I went, but there's no one who remembers it with me, and I mean, it can be fun to be alone too, but there's something real sweet about this whole journey I've shared with some of my best friends, and we have these memories together.
Beautiful, beautiful. And next year it'll be almost 20 years of my epic. And and what are your thoughts on traveling such a long way? And how do you feel about the music that you have created? And how do you look into the future of the band?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that anytime you think about the person you were 10 years ago, you get a little embarrassed, right? Like, oh, I said that 10, that's, I used to do that. I used to cut my hair like that. I used to wear those clothes. Like, it's the same thing. But I can also, so I can look back on it with kind of of a judging eye sometimes and see all the things I would do differently now or the things I wouldn't say. But I can also look back with a lot of grace and be like, that guy was doing the best he could, and that was the best he could do at the time. And I don't regret being him because now I get to be here. And so that's part of what I think about. And the other thing I think about is just I'm a firm believer, and I didn't make this up, somebody else did, but like the true reward of good work is that you get to do more. So you better like the work. Like if the only reason you're doing a job is for the money, then you're never going to be that happy. I love making stuff with my friends, and I specifically love making music with my friends. And in my other job, I make stuff with my friends. So that part keeps me excited. The number one win that I want out of this record, the first thing I want is just that they'll let me do it again. Like it just let me make more because I enjoy. It's a hard process, and it's often like trying to get water out of a stone to write a good song because you now it's like I know what a good song is, and I can write 50 bad ones today. I can write 1,000 bad ones this year, but I might be able to only write like 3 good ones. And that's what, and I know now I can't go like, oh, this one's good. I know it's bad. So I think I love the work, and I love doing it collaboratively. Like I don't have any desire to do a solo record. And so I think that's what keeps me going after 20 years. And that's what makes it feel so fresh. Like this record's coming out. I'm already writing new stuff, and that new stuff has me excited because it's like, well, I've never written a song like that. Like I want to catch that fish.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And do you feel accomplished, or do you have more dreams that you want to bring it to reality?
Yeah, both for sure. I feel fulfilled, but I can't imagine stopping dreaming. And even at this age of my life, like I feel like I'm having new dreams that I've never had before. Like a lot of the dreams that I've spent most of my life to this point getting, like being in a good band, getting a record deal, putting records out that people like, getting married, having a kid, building a house. These are all the same dreams I had when I was 15. And so now, like at this age, like I'm having new dreams, and some of them are so connected to the band and to musical. So yeah, I can never imagine a day when I won't write music with my friends. I can imagine a day when no one wants to pay me to do it, and that makes it really hard because I can't go back to doing it like cheaply. Like I know what it takes to do it right. But yeah, I'm constantly having new dreams about like, yeah, we'd like to come tour. We'd love to tour the world. Like we'd love to be. We know there's lots of people who would like our music and just haven't heard it. Like we've done enough big tours. We do a big tour, and so many nights people are like, I never heard of you. I love you. And then like a month later, they're like, you're one of my favorite bands. And they just never would have known if we hadn't gotten that tour. So much of it is marketing. So I appreciate you, Keith, having us on because for somebody, not everybody, but somebody will hear my epic for the first time and be like, man, I'm so glad I found out. I mean, it happens to me all the time. There's so much music. There's so much movies, so many TV shows. So I'm still confident that we are most fulfilled as artists, and we're keeping our bar super high where we're not releasing anything that we don't think is our best thing, and that part is fulfilling in and of itself and enough for me to keep going. But I'm also a believer that like, yeah, if we can continue to learn how to like, I'm getting wiser at the business side, I'm getting wiser at the marketing side, and we have a better team. We have not really a better but a bigger team now to do that stuff. So I also have hopes that there's a lot of people out there who are future My Epic fans and just don't know we exist yet, and if we find them, that changes the game for us.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Aaron, finally, any message that you have for the fans around the world?
Oh man, so thanks for giving us a chance. I don't know if we're exactly metal, but that we like a lot of metal, and we like a lot of heavy music. And I mean, we've always had a really dynamic sound. We've always liked those two things together, like the sour and the sweet. So what I'd say is just thanks for giving us a chance. And this record is really about if you've been through something hard, if you've been through something painful, something traumatic, what we wrote a whole record about grieving that, that it's good to hate something bad when it happens to you. But then what do you do? Like when you can only be angry for so long, like you can only, or it eats you up. And so what does it look like to move on? What does it look like to not embrace cynicism? Like I think being critical is valuable, but being cynical is like agreeing to die early. Like it's just kind of giving up any hope or any light for the future. And so I wouldn't shame anybody for thinking that way because it's rational to look at how messed up things can be and go like, man, cynicism makes a lot of sense. But I think it's one of the most important fights we can fight is to stay hopeful, to stay pressing forward. I think there's a lot to live for, and that's what this record's about. So if that's where you're at, like I hope you'll listen to it, and if it's for you, then it's for you, and we're glad to have you. And if it's not, then keep rocking what you love. Like it's a big world. There's a lot of beautiful stuff out there. But thank you for having us on, Keith.
My pleasure, Aaron. And oh, Aaron, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to have you on this interview. And thanks for giving your time on speaking on the new album, Loriella, a great album, like I said earlier. Each and every song beautifully crafted. Like you said, you have always given your 100%, 1,000% on each song, then you deliver it. So beautiful of this album. And I wish a lot of people listen to this album and enjoy the music that you have been given for the rock fraternity around the world. And thanks for all the musical awesomeness. And I wish you all the best. And I'm really hoping to meet you guys on the road someday.
Okay, where do I have to come to meet you, Keith? Where are you at?
Oh, I live in India, but I do a lot of traveling.
Oh, okay. Well, if you ever come to Kentucky, then you've got a place to hang out.
I'll be there. I'll be
And I,
there.
and I need to come to India. So we both got traveling to do.
We can work it out, and I'll think about that and I'll let you know with the local community here.
Now, and our one of our main members, Nate, he also plays guitar and writes in a metal band sometimes called Becoming the Archetype. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah, I know the
Uh,
band.
okay, so Nate wrote and produced their last record. So they get to travel a little bit more than we do. So you can at least meet one of us.
Absolutely beautiful, Aaron. And thanks again, and have a great evening out there, Aaron.
You too, Keith. God bless. Have a good one.
As you take care. Bye bye.